Hi ladies and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about single women keep you single. And the reason why I'm even bringing up this topic is because a lot of women who messaged me, basically they tell me how they get this advice from people who are close to them, like their friends, family, co-workers, and so on. But the best advice I can give is stop taking advice from people who don't live the life that you want or don't have the partner that you want, okay? Because if your friends are like, I don't know, freaking 40 and they've been single for so many years, or they can't keep up a relationship or a marriage and they've never been married, why would you want to take advice from them? And no offense, if your mother didn't know how to choose men, she has a bunch of baby daddies and a bunch of kids from different dads, or she was married to somebody who's physically abusive, sexually abusive, manipulative, narcissist, why would you want to take advice from her? Even if they left those relationships, marriages, and they claim that they know better. Most people don't. Most people repeat their mistakes. It's very hard and very difficult to reprogram your brain and to be able to think, okay, this wasn't healthy. I need to go for something different. People usually always repeat their mistakes. It's very difficult. You need mad therapy for that. I'm telling you, I've met so many people who left their toxic relationships and tried to find healthy and they just can't. It's very difficult. It's possible. It's possible even without therapy, but it's so rare. If you're looking at my channel, you're looking through my, videos, whatever, you can see that I'm not showing you who I am. I'm not proving my lifestyle, my partner, how I look, and all of that. My advice is something that you should take with a grain of salt because you don't know how I'm living. My advice is something that you listen to and you say, okay, this is something I can apply, and okay, this makes no sense to me and I don't agree with it, so I'm not going to apply it. I don't care if you agree with me 100%, and I also don't care if you disagree completely. I'm just putting whatever advice I got out there and you decide what you're going to do with it. The best advice, though, that I can honestly give is to go to the people that actually live the life you want. The only advice you should ever take fully is from the people who live the life you want and from the people who have the partner that you want. You go to them and you ask them. If I see a girl who has a nice body, and I want that kind of body, let's say she's fit, of course I'm going to go to her and be like, hey, like, what did you do? And take some advice from her. But I'm not going to let a girl who doesn't have the body that I want, let's say, I don't know, maybe she's freaking obese, and she comes up to me and tells me like, oh yeah, like, if you want to lose weight and become fit, like you said that you want to, then you need to, quit bread and do these kind of exercises. I'm not going to take her advice seriously because she doesn't have what I want. Period. And this is like something that I wish most of you women would do, because a lot of you, it seems like you don't have a mind of your own. You keep taking this advice, this horrible advice from women who don't have the lifestyle that you want, who are nowhere near close to it, who don't even have, they don't even want the lifestyle that you want. They don't even want the partner that you want. So why are you listening to them, and why do you care about their opinions? Since I've made my account, till this day, I still have so many women DMing me and telling me how they found a good man and how they're happy and satisfied, but there's a problem. They can't go further with him because he's from a different culture, a different skin color, a different religion, a different age, looks, height. They're so worried about what their friends are going to think, what their family is going to think, what the outside world is going to think. Why do you care? The question is, are you satisfied? Are you happy? Is he providing what you want from him? Those friends of yours, they're not going to take care of you. They're not going to provide for you. They're not going to start a family with you. They're all going to eventually move on. But here you are caring about what they think. Your family, like, you're letting your family choose who you're going to be with and choose the lifestyle that you're going to have? Are you serious? Does your family have to sleep with that guy that you're with? Does your family have to live with the guy that you are forever? Like, I just don't understand you. Who cares if he's much older? Who cares if you're 30 and he's freaking 60 something? It is not easy to find a partner who actually fits your needs and is a good man and is healthy. But some of you just, that's all you, like, you care so much about what the outside world thinks, and I just don't understand why. So I understand that some people come with very difficult backgrounds, where if you go for a guy who's from a different culture, religion, skin color, their family could abandon them, disown them, And of course, I would never want somebody to be in that situation, but it is definitely something very difficult and you have to think about, sit down and actually think about it. Because, girl, if you're gonna leave him and you got something good going on, Ashley is more than happy to take her place. Really, if anything, you should honestly leave your man because Ashley is more than happy to take your place. Ashley don't care about what others think. She doesn't care about what her family think, what her friends think. Ashley is selfish. Ashley knows what she wants and she wants the best life for herself. At this point, you have two options. Either teach yourself how to be selfish like Ashley or sit back and watch her take over the lifestyle you could have had. And I swear, if you're a woman who doesn't have a mind of her own and you constantly depend on other people for advice, you are basically destined to suffer. These kind of women usually always end up single for a very long time, alone, or with a partner that makes them suffer and they just don't want to admit to it. A lot of the times you will see that they literally have children that they beg for money, okay? They beg money from their own kids. Their kids are left paying for their funeral. It's just such a sad thing to do because you need to put yourself in a position where you can make good decisions, where you don't depend on people. There's nothing wrong that sometimes you can't decide what to do and it's okay to go for people's advice. But like when you're getting advice, you always have to take it with a grain of salt. But I see so many of you just applying it right away. I mean, if you're going to complain to your single friends and tell them, all these things that he did, of course they're going to over-exaggerate it. And no matter what, even if they're taken, married, single, they're always going to be on your side because they're your friends. They're going to tell you what you want to hear because they're your friends. That is basically their job. It's the same thing with your family. I made a post not long ago when I said, when you meet a man, you can't trust his family or his friends or his coworkers. No matter how many times they tell you, oh, he's such a good guy. Because no matter what, they have his back. They don't have yours. They're on his side, not yours. It doesn't matter if they know that he's cheated in the past or treated women like crap. They're not going to tell you. Especially to the ones that make posts. Listen, nothing wrong with asking for advice and, taking things with a grain of salt. But some people really, they take all the advice and they apply it. I mean, I'm telling you, a woman can make a post right now and saying, I have a great, partner, provides, does everything, children love him. But the problem is we argue because we don't watch the same show. I swear to you, women will jump into that and be like, oh, you gotta divorce him, leave him, how dare he. Literally, the best thing you can do is not make posts about it on Facebook or on Instagram and take advice from women you don't know how they live. You know what I mean? The best way is to go see a therapist that can hear both sides of the story. But even a therapist isn't going to be able to help you 100% because they have a mind of their own. Just because, you can go see one therapist and they're going to agree with you, but the next therapist is going to say, no, you're completely wrong. Because, again, therapists also are human beings who come with their mind of their own. With situations like this, you have to be able to think for yourself. You're not going to be able to constantly rely on other people to give you advice. If I'm going to be completely blunt and honest, some of you make it so obvious that you've never had a good partner before because when you have somebody who's good and healthy, you won't even need to make all these posts. You won't need to ask for advice. You simply know how to solve it because you know how to communicate with that person. Or at least you know where you're at with that person. But I'm telling you, when I've dated healthy people, of course I had some experience with toxic men and manipulative men, but I've also had experience with healthy men too. And with healthy men, you don't need to question it. You already know where you're standing. You already know where you're at. You don't need to ask for advice from other people. Trust me, when you have something good, you already know. You won't be needing to make all these posts. Now, the next advice I'm going to give you is something I suggest to take with a grain of salt. A lot of times I hear women saying, I'm going to take a long break. I need to figure myself out and stuff like that. Yes, that's good. And, if you need to take a break, take a break. But in my opinion, most of the men that you're going to meet, you're not going to want to have a family with. And usually it takes a while until you find somebody that's right for you because as you date, you start learning from the mistakes. You start learning from what kind of men to avoid. And it's going to put you in a much tougher place to take a really long break. I've literally heard women saying, well, I'm in my early 20s, so I may as well just start dating by the time I'm in my late 20s. Why would you do that? You're in your early 20s. Go out there and learn from mistakes because the best way to learn is through experience. Experience is going to provide you 10 times more knowledge as compared to all these books and videos that you're watching right now. Now I'm going to finish this video off with some comments that I received from women about the whole last video that I made about simps, where I said smart women marry simps. I had like maybe 4 to 5 women saying women need to set their standards higher and they shouldn't be marrying simps. They need to marry guys who, you know, fit whatever it is that they want physically, like, you know, the way he looks, the way he is in bed, all of that stuff. They said that they shouldn't be with a guy who's boring, all of that stuff. I have no problem with women having high standards, and I believe that you should have high standards, but I think that you should also understand the difference between reality and a fantasy, because to these women who say they need to set high standards and women need to find that man that they're looking for, a lot of women, and in reality, they all dream of being with a guy who's tall and rich and is confident, you know, and is healthy. But you're living in a fantasy. You know that most of that, like that it just doesn't exist. If you think it exists, good luck to you. You're going to learn the hard way and you're going to come back to me. When you learn, come back to me, okay? Truly, to all these women who have this wish, I hope that you marry your 6-foot handsome man who, you know, whatever it is that you have a fantasy of. But in reality, most of you with this kind of fantasy, you're either with a guy who makes you suffer deep down and you don't want to admit it, or you're literally in your like late, I don't even know what age, never been married. And the reason why you've never been married is because you haven't met the guy who fits these high standards of yours. This is exactly where I suggest applying my advice. Go to the women who are dating this dream man of yours, this little fantasy of yours. Those women that are dating him, married to him, ask them, what's it like? And let them open up to you the amount of things they had to deal with, the amount of suffering that they have to go through, the emotional pain this person provided them. Go ask them. If anyone comes forward to me and tells me, I found this magical unicorn that you're talking about, who I'm in love with, and he's healthy, and he's tall and handsome and rich, and he's, you know, faithful to me, and he's good to the children, I will literally delete my social media, delete all of my videos. I'll make one video for as long as you want, apologizing and telling everyone that I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about. All I need is one person to come forward and tell me that they found this magical unicorn. And ladies, I apologize. I should have mentioned from the beginning of the video, most of this video is basically based off the DMs that I would get, whatever women were talking to me about, all these kind of stuff. So that's why the video is a little bit random and you kind of have different topics. But yeah, hopefully it was helpful. And if you prefer that next time I'll be more specific and mention the questions or the conversation, of course, I'd be happy to do that. I just hope that the video wasn't too random. I just wanted to get it done as quick as possible so it doesn't go off too long like my other videos. But yeah, anything else that you want me to talk about, things you'd like me to add on, fix, definitely let me know. And yeah, love you all.